In the vast tapestry of life, there exist invisible threads connecting moments of kindness to cosmic rewards, and in the sprawling metropolis of Westbrook, where skyscrapers touched the clouds and ambition filled the air, lived Michael Parker, a 24-year-old office boy whose extraordinary heart would soon challenge the very fabric of reality. The first light of dawn had barely touched the horizon when his alarm pierced the silence of his small, dilapidated apartment, the rickety ceiling fan creaking overhead while he stretched his arms with fingertips nearly touching both walls of his cramped bedroom, rising from a mattress that had seen better days to navigate carefully across worn floorboards that groaned beneath his weight. Making his way to a tiny bathroom where the faucet dripped incessantly despite numerous attempts to fix it, the mirror reflected a young man with bright eyes that contrasted with his surroundings. After a quick shower and lukewarm water, he dressed in his simple blue Pinnacle Industries uniform, carefully ironed the night before, because appearance mattered to him regardless of his position at the bottom of the corporate ladder. His breakfast in the narrow kitchen consisting of generic cereal and milk, eaten while gazing at magazine cutouts of dreams, a sleek coffee machine to replace his grandmother's old kettle, modern furniture instead of his weathered hand-me-downs, and most prominently, a midnight blue sedan that would free him from daily bicycle commutes. These images serving as visual reminders of goals he worked toward penny by penny in a savings account that grew with painful slowness. After washing his dishes and grabbing his backpack containing a simple lunch, he locked the 3 separate locks on his door, navigated the hallway that smelled of various cooking odors, greeted Mrs. Gonzalez, who maintained the common areas despite her arthritis, and headed outside to unlock his weathered but well-maintained Schwinn bicycle. Joining the morning traffic with a momentary sense of freedom despite the challenges of the long ride ahead, he arrived at the gleaming glass and steel tower of Pinnacle Industries, where his day officially began as an office services assistant, though everyone simply called him the office boy, a term that carried no sting for Michael, who understood his role within the corporate ecosystem and performed it with dignity. His responsibilities were diverse and ever-expanding, delivering mail and packages, preparing conference rooms, restocking supplies, assisting with basic IT troubleshooting, running errands for executives, and being available for whatever miscellaneous tasks arose. What set him apart was his genuine desire to help, earning him respect across all levels of the organization, from the custodial staff to the C-suite, for treating everyone with the same respectful demeanor and willingness to be of service. His colleagues remained unaware of the stark contrast between his professional environment and personal circumstances, the threadbare apartment, careful budgeting, and dreams perpetually beyond reach due to financial limitations. His modest salary left precious little after essentials for savings or luxuries, yet he maintained a remarkable outlook focused on gradual improvement rather than complaints or envy, setting small achievable goals and celebrating minor victories. When news of quarterly performance bonuses spread through the office that summer week, it carried particular significance for Michael, as any additional income represented an opportunity to edge closer to one of his goals. Receiving his envelope personally from Mrs. Rivera, who noted how everyone mentioned his assistance made their work smoother, he waited until lunch to discover that the amount, while not substantial by many standards, was the largest bonus he'd received since joining the company, offering immediate possibilities that hadn't existed that morning. As the workday concluded, he felt a lightness in his step, knowing the bonus would allow him to purchase the coffee machine he'd been saving for, with enough left over to add to his car fund. Retrieving his bicycle from the rack, he navigated the heavy Friday evening traffic with practiced ease, his mind occupied with plans for his bonus, until, along a street lined with small businesses closing for the evening, he noticed an elderly man standing before a bakery display window. The old man's posture suggested both weariness and longing, weathered features indicating years of outdoor work, and eyes holding quiet dignity despite evident hardship. What struck Michael most profoundly was the expression on the old man's face. Not simple hunger, but something deeper, a mixture of yearning and resignation that spoke of desires repeatedly denied by circumstance, creating an immediate bond of empathy as Michael recognized parallels to his own experiences of standing before shop windows, looking at items beyond his financial reach. Without conscious decision, he found himself stopping his bicycle, the bonus envelope crinkling in his pocket as he dismounted, momentarily hesitating as he considered the coffee machine now within reach. Yet the old man's expression pulled at something deeper than material desire. With quiet determination, he secured his bicycle and entered the bakery, where rich aromas enveloped him, purchasing an expensive artisanal loaf that had captured the old man's attention, and a smaller seeded one as well, representing a significant portion of what he might have spent on his own groceries. Yet the decision felt right. As he approached the elderly man outside, "Excuse me, sir, I noticed you looking at the bread. I thought perhaps you might enjoy this," he said, extending the bag to the old man, whose expression shifted from surprise and hesitation to profound gratitude. "Young man, this kindness, thank you," he responded simply, yet sincerely, creating an unexpected tightness in Michael's chest as they connected across generations through this simple exchange. After the old man departed, Michael continued homeward, aware that he'd just spent a significant portion of his bonus on a spontaneous act of kindness, postponing his coffee machine and slowing the growth of his car fund, yet feeling a curious lightness of spirit that eased his fatigue. Unaware that behind him, the elderly man stood beneath a street lamp, one hand extended toward the darkening sky in what appeared to be a benediction, lips moving in silent words of gratitude and blessing, invoking forces beyond the visible world, forces that responded to selfless acts with cosmic reciprocity. As Michael approached his building, something felt different, though he couldn't immediately identify how. The brick seemed less faded, the entrance more welcoming, the overall impression somehow enhanced. Attributing these perceptions to tiredness, he secured his bicycle and entered the lobby, which now glowed with warm, steady light from fixtures he didn't recognize. The worn linoleum floor displaying a subtle pattern of earth tones, complementing freshly painted walls. The elevator now featured polished brass doors and a cedar-scented interior that ascended smoothly, unlike its usual temperamental performance. Emerging onto his floor, the hallway now featured wainscoting, tasteful wall sconces, and a burgundy runner carpet that muffled his footsteps as he approached apartment 4B, where he came to an abrupt halt, facing not the hollow core, paint-chipped panel he had left that morning, but a solid wood door with satin finish, elegant hardware, and a state-of-the-art security system. Michael stood frozen, considering whether he had entered the wrong building, miscounted floors, or was experiencing hallucinations from exhaustion. Yet when he inserted his key into the new lock, it turned with smooth precision, revealing an apartment that both was and wasn't his. The familiar layout now filled with elegant furniture replacing his worn items, the walls adorned with tasteful artwork instead of aspirational cutouts, recessed lighting creating an ambiance his old floor lamps never achieved, an effect of understated luxury that was comfortable, harmonious, and undeniably expensive. In the transformed kitchenette, positioned where his grandmother's kettle had stood, was the exact model of coffee machine he had cut from the magazine, the one whose purchase he had just postponed by giving his bonus to the old man. The bathroom revealed similar transformations with elegant stonework and modern fixtures, while the bedroom contained a platform bed with a perfectly yielding mattress. Throughout the apartment, the transformation was comprehensive yet personalized, as if someone had known not only what he needed but understood his specific tastes, creating an environment that felt simultaneously new and familiar, extraordinary and right. After verifying the apartment number and that his key worked on both the new door and mailbox, Michael surrendered to sleep in the luxurious new bed, his dreams filled with vivid yet elusive images of the old man, sometimes surrounded by light, sometimes speaking in a language Michael didn't understand, yet somehow comprehended. The next morning confirmed the transformations were not hallucinations, and he discovered a small, velvet-covered case containing a car key with the logo of a mid-range automobile manufacturer. Heading downstairs, he found the midnight blue sedan from his magazine clipping occupying the space marked 4B, identical in every detail from the specific shade of paint to the styling of the alloy wheels. As he sat behind the wheel, the engine coming to life with a purr rather than a rattle, Michael faced an inescapable conclusion. What had happened transcended ordinary reality, the only potential catalyst being his encounter with the elderly man at the bakery, a simple act of compassion that seemed to have triggered forces beyond his understanding, forces that responded to selflessness with abundance, to kindness with miracles. The days that followed unfolded like chapters from a story he never expected to be part of, each morning bringing a moment of suspended breath as he half expected to find himself back in his old apartment, yet each day confirmed the persistence of the miracle. His colleagues noticed the changes immediately, his arrival in a new vehicle raising eyebrows and prompting questions that he deflected with vague references to positive changes and things coming together, responses truthful in essence, if not in detail. More challenging were the internal questions about what it meant to receive such gifts and what responsibility that entailed. Returning to the bakery multiple times hoping to encounter the old man again, Michael found no trace of him, as if he had manifested solely for that pivotal interaction. As weeks passed, Michael began to integrate the changes into a new vision of his life, one that honored the mysterious gift by using it purposefully. The apartment became a haven he could share, hosting gatherings for colleagues who had shown him kindness. The car enabled him to volunteer for community outreach, and the financial cushion allowed him to contribute to causes he had previously supported only with wishes rather than his wallet. He discovered that the most profound aspect of the transformation wasn't the material improvements, but the expansion of his capacity to affect others positively, creating ripples of kindness that reached far beyond his immediate circle. What remained consistent was his approach to work at Pinnacle Industries, bringing the same diligence and helpfulness to his role as the office boy, because he understood that wealth or status didn't define contribution, compassion did. And sometimes, on quiet evenings, when the city lights twinkled like earthbound stars, Michael would recall the old man's expression of surprise and gratitude, wondering if he knew what his blessing had set in motion. Perhaps he did. Perhaps such moments of connection and compassion triggered cosmic responses beyond human understanding, Or perhaps something simpler, but no less profound, was at work, the recognition that when we give without expectation, we open ourselves to receiving in ways we cannot anticipate. Either way, Michael Parker, once defined by what he lacked, now embodied what was possible when kindness became both currency and catalyst, his transformation a testament to the invisible threads connecting all lives and the extraordinary power of a single compassionate act.